While Republicans in the House of Representatives recently passed a sweeping new bill with the vocal support of former President Donald Trump, their counterparts in the Senate appear significantly less united behind the legislation. The divide underscores deeper ideological rifts within the Republican Party, particularly when it comes to fiscal policy and public messaging. Although Senate Republicans are not expressing moral or humanitarian objections to the bill's substance, such as its proposed cuts to programs benefiting lower-income Americans, they are raising red flags about its potential to balloon the federal deficit. This concern is not necessarily new, but it has taken on a new tone as GOP lawmakers face increasing scrutiny over long-standing accusations of hypocrisy, namely, that they only worry about deficits when Democrats are in power. During Democratic administrations, Republicans have historically positioned themselves as fiscal hawks, criticizing deficits and decrying government spending. However, under Republican leadership, particularly during the Trump years, deficit concerns were often brushed aside. Notably, one Republican lawmaker once famously remarked that deficits don't matter, a statement emblematic of the party's shifting fiscal priorities depending on who holds the White House. This apparent inconsistency has not gone unnoticed by voters or by members of the Senate GOP caucus. With the public increasingly attuned to these contradictions, some Senate Republicans are now distancing themselves from the House-passed bill. They are warning that its passage could not only harm the nation's fiscal outlook, but also further erode the party's credibility on financial stewardship. Over the Memorial Day weekend, several Republican senators took to Sunday news shows to voice their dissatisfaction. Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, a staunch Trump ally, appeared on CNN's State of the Union with Jake Tapper. When asked how many Republican senators shared his opposition to the bill, Johnson responded, "I think we have enough to stop the process until the president gets serious about spending reduction and reducing the deficit." His comments signal growing impatience within the Senate GOP over what some see as reckless fiscal policy, even when advanced by Trump and House Republicans. Johnson's remarks are notable not only for their content, but also for their source. As a figure closely aligned with Trump, having played a controversial role in efforts to challenge the 2020 election, his opposition is emblematic of a deeper unease that transcends factional divides within the party. Meanwhile, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who has long cultivated a reputation for ideological purity on fiscal issues, offered his own critique in an appearance on Fox News. Paul derided the bill's proposed spending cuts as wimpy and anemic, expressing frustration that more aggressive reductions, particularly to social safety net programs, were not included. He went on to say that even if he supported the bill's modest cuts, he could not back any measure that would significantly increase the national debt. Paul laid out his objections in stark terms, stating that the bill could raise the deficit by as much as $5 trillion. He pointed out that despite rhetoric condemning so-called Bidenomics, most Republicans had voted in March to extend current spending levels. "Somebody has to stand up and yell the emperor has no clothes," Paul said, calling on conservatives to reject blind loyalty to party leadership in favor of what he views as genuine fiscal conservatism.